Hey guys, welcome to the Crypto Savvy channel. I'm Craig and we're going to be going over the charts. I know a lot of the talk right now is about Binance being insolvent, and a lot of people are saying that people are getting paid to FUD Binance. You guys know, if you watch this channel, before we begin, make sure you guys smash those thumbs up. I do appreciate it. It really helps the channel out. Also, leave your comments after the video, but let's talk a little bit about the Binance FUD, right? If you guys remember, back in December of last year, 2021, I was talking about the Bitcoin compared to .com bubble. People also called that FUD, said there's no way that Bitcoin could go down. But I talked to you guys about how there were a lot of scams, a lot of crap coins that needed to get washed out. This is still happening. I don't believe it's over. And the Binance thing with me, it's just looking at the charts, guys, and telling you what the charts are telling me. Does that mean 100% that Binance is insolvent? No, but it does show you that the charts are not looking good, and just to be careful. And why not take your money off at least until everything is cleared up, instead of wishing you would if something does happen. I just want to put this out there, so let's take a look. This is going to be a quick video. Happy Monday. I hope you all had a great weekend. Let's take a look at Bitcoin from the smaller time frames up to the bigger ones. We're also going to take a look at that BNB, the Binance chart, and then we're also going to be looking at ADA. A lot of people want to talk about Cardano and ask about it. Well, I have a chart that is about, I think it's at least 6 or 8 months old for Cardano, maybe even older. We're going to see how that's playing out and what the targets are. Stick around to the end if you want to see that one, but let's take a look at what's going on now. So we talked about this on the 4-hour, right? We could get another spike up to this area. Now remember, in the RSI, the RSI follows the body of the candle, not the wick. So you may get a big, huge wick up. One of the things you have to remember, we are in a bear market, guys. Everybody says buy the dip. I say short the rip. That's my thing. Until we are have a macro confirmation that the market has turned, and I'll tell you where that is for me. There's no reason to be longing in this market unless you're a day trader. I consider that more gambling, just like playing in the altcoins. That's gambling, guys. It's like playing in the penny stock market, right? Let's take a look at what's going on with Bitcoin. So we talked about breaking out of this rising channel. If we take a measured move of this, the area for a decent bounce should be somewhere in this area here. Let's put a target in there, right? So that's around, let's put it on here, right around 15.8 range. That's where this measured move gets us. It may stop at 16, obviously, just because of even number psychological. But if this breaks, our next target's down here to retest this bottom trend line, and that's going to be somewhere around 15.3 range. Once this is broke, then I'm looking at our weekly target of 14.5. If that does not hold, then we take a measured move of this channel, gets us down to about 12.5. As you guys know, I don't think we're going to see the bottom until the middle or end of next year, and I'll show you why in the charts. I'm not going off of news and hype and FUD. I'm going off the charts. So guys, don't think I'm just throwing FUD out there. I'm showing what the charts are showing, just like I told you guys when the bubble was popping at the very top, right? Charts tell you a lot more than all the paid news and all that stuff. So looking at the 4-hour RSI, we could come up to retest this. Let me zoom in so you can see it. We could come up, get a spike up to retest this area in the 4-hour. If we do, I would wait for a close on this trend line to do a short if you're not already in one. Let's put another trend line from this low, which is right here, over across the bottoms. If we look at that one, we are pretty close to have, there's a few different ones we could look at if we just throw some trend lines across here. So on this trend line off of this low, we've already retested, right? But off of this low, we could go a little bit higher. So there is a chance we get a spike here. I don't think it's going to last. So if we do get a spike, I'm going to be adding to my shorts. I'm still in my short from up here. I told you guys I laddered in from 17.9 to 18.4. Told you guys that way before I did it, way before we got there, that I was going to do it, and you can see what happened there. So these are the areas to watch. Looking at the 4 hour, if we go into the daily, right, taking a look at the daily, if we look at the daily here, we did come back up and we got rejected off this trend line in the daily, that same one I showed you in the 4 hour, but in the daily we did get a rejection. Probably going to go much lower. Let me get these lines off here so you can see it. So where is the big bullish breakout point for the daily? That's going to be around this 19,052, and that's just a trend line off of these highs here and these lows here being a falling channel. If we get up there, then maybe possibly look for a rally if we get above this 1950 all the way up to maybe 22. But guys, I think there's a good possibility that we don't see 20,000 again until possibly 2025, and I'll show you why in the charts. Obviously, guys, that's not financial advice. None of this is guaranteed, but I'm showing you what the markets are telling me, right? And if you guys want to learn, just watch all my videos and you'll see how I chart. You'll see how I don't have all these crazy indicators to confuse the heck out of you. All I use is the RSI and the EMAs. And the EMAs I use are the 8, the 13, the 21, the 55, and the 200. And they're based off of Fibonacci levels. As you can see, they do great. I prefer the EMAs over SMAs because it's tighter to price action. So anyways, let's take a look at what's going on here. Here's our daily chart. I think we're going to come down eventually and retest this bottom here. Now, once we do that, that may be the false bottom. And what do I mean by a false bottom? Stick around. I will show you. Before we go into more charts, if you guys are interested in trading, I definitely suggest checking out Prime XBT if you are a trader. Just remember, on any exchange, don't put more on any exchange than you're willing to lose, right? But on this exchange, you can trade Forex, gold, silver, oil, S&P, crypto, Dow Jones, everything all from one exchange. They don't trade against you. You don't get the big scam which you get in all the other scammy exchanges. Also, you can use my promo code SAVVY50, and that'll get you up to a $7,000 bonus. SAVVY25 will get you 25% off your fees. Definitely check them out if you haven't already. The link's down below. I'll also leave a tutorial at the end of the video up top. It'll pop up for you. So let's look at the weekly, right? So the weekly, we had talked about this. I told you, remember the weekly was up above this trend line. I told you we'd close below, which we did. And we can zoom in here. Close below it. Again, we had our fake out right here, just like we had in the Amazon chart. We'll take a look at that here in a few. But guys, we're just rolling over again. And I drew this in here back in November, right? We drew this in November, and it still looks to be playing out once we break this 14.5 range. And here I have it sometime around the end of January, so we could stay in this area. But once we break this, if we break it sooner, we're looking down towards that 12.5 to 8,500 range. Now, I believe the false bottom is going to be between 75 and 8,500, possibly lower, and I'll show you that in the coming charts. But what this leads to is our bottom, the middle or end of 2023. And if you've watched my videos since way back here, we called all these targets all the way down. Called them all. You can go back and look at the videos. This is our monthly chart. You can see our monthly RSI trend line, right? The monthly is extremely bearish. Anything under this trend line, we've talked about it. Still happening, guys. There's nothing bullish here. We've actually had the 8 cross over the 21 EMA on the monthly. Not good. One more thing before we get into BNB, the Dow Jones, and the DXY, and we're going to take a look at Cardano. But before we do that, I want to show you guys my wife's webpage, anchorimage.com. She may have enough time to actually still get you Christmas gifts before Christmas. So if you want to check it out, I suggest doing that. It's Ink Your Image. It's right here. Let me show you how it's spelt. InkYourImage.com. There's also a link down below, but check it out. Cool Christmas gift ideas. She does it all herself with her own hands, so definitely check it out. Now, this is our Binance chart, right? We talked about this. We broke below this second trend line here. Probably going to range around. We could range around in here for another couple months, right? Until we get our actual next bottom or next drop for Bitcoin, big drop, right? but it is looking very similar. And if you don't think they're hedged on this at all, you're crazy. Like I said, I like to follow the charts, not the news, nothing else. And the charts say bad news for Binance, right? And BNB, which they own most of the coins. So if BNB was to drop to really low prices, their collateral drops along with it. So be careful there, guys. Also, looking at the Dow Jones, is it open? It opens in about 2 minutes from now. But we called this top probably a couple weeks ahead of time. You can go back and look at my videos. I do think we are headed back down to these levels. Now, if we get a Santa rally, we could see the daily RSI this week really crank up to these levels. It would have to be a pretty massive rally that would obviously give Bitcoin a little boost too, but it's not looking very likely as of right now. The DXY, you guys know I'm extremely bullish on the DXY. Everybody else thinks it's dead. But if you look at it, guys, this was truly a healthy pullback, right? Look at it on the weekly, and you can see my targets that we've had for well over a year. This was the 80s. I think we're going to see the same type thing back here. Our next big resistance is around 122. Once we break this and gain support on it, I think we're headed to the 170 to 180 range. This is a falling wedge pattern. We did break out. Still, nothing has changed there for me, guys. This is the .com bubble. This is Amazon on the left. This is Bitcoin on the right. We've had this drawn out since December 2nd, 2022. Told you guys, we had a fake little wick up above our trend line right here on the weekly, right? We had the same thing right here. We're getting rejected again, just like we did back here, guys. I think our false bottom is going to be sometime in February or March, around the possibly as low as 6,500, but I'm looking at 75 to 8,500. Possibly get back in there for a rally. Could be a 100% rally all the way back up to 12, maybe 14,000, maybe even 16. We'll be keeping an eye on it, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure your notification bells are ticked. And guys, before we go any further, one more time, smash them likes. All right. So that rally would get us sometime into maybe April, maybe even May, and then coming down to our true bottom, the middle or end of next year. When will we know this is happening? Well, when this weekly trend line is broken, actually broken, right? The next time. With a weekly close above it, right? Just like we did back here. Once that broke, everyone got super bullish and just turned around to make a new lower low. That's how bubbles pop. How will this look? Something like this. This is Amazon. This is Bitcoin. We can overlay these charts. Remember, guys, we'll take a look at ADA, Cardano here in a minute. But as you can see, still playing out beautifully. Now, if it did get down to this low here, that gets down to about 45 to 6,500. So if it plays out like this, we get a lot lower before our rally. But remember, we'll know when that rally is once that weekly RSI trend line is broken. I think that'll just be a false bottom. Another thing in here to look at is the 55 EMA. If we break this before hitting these lows, then I would consider the bottom being in on the macro. I would rather buy up here and watch my money grow than buy here and watch my money sink more when I can buy a lot more down here. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense to a lot of people, but this is my validation point. And right now, the weekly is 26.8 is where the 55 EMA is. So if we were to shoot up past that, then I would be willing to say that maybe the bottom is in. But until then, I still think these lower lows are coming. This is my 10-year plan. If it plays out like this, the true bottom should be 35 to 4,500, middle or end of 2023. Then our 4-year cycle rally that everyone thinks has to go to a new all-time high does not. I don't think it will. I think we'll see 38 to 45,000. Middle or end of 2025 come crashing back down to 14, maybe 22 range. 2028. 2029, get a big rally again to 55 to 65,000. Get another rejection there. 2030, 22 to 30,000 range, and then up from there, just like we did over here. Remember, after a big bubble pop like this, and all the businesses losing all kinds of money with over leveraged positions, just like it was over here, it took 10 years to break the all-time high. could be seeing the same thing. Now, here is my Cardano chart. We've had this chart since way up here when we broke this trend line. That look familiar? Looks a lot like FTX and Binance and every other altcoin for that matter, right? We've had these targets forever. Actually, our first one's hit down here. That was around the 42, but told you once this broke, our next target was going to be 28. We hit that. Now this 28 becomes resistance, guys. Could get as high as, 30 cents here. But other than that, I think we come back down. Our next main target's 22. Once that breaks, 19. Once that breaks, these are all measured moves, guys. 8 cents. If that breaks, a penny. I know a lot of people are saying, no way that would ever happen. But guys, this has done nothing but break low after low after low. Bad news for Cardano, I believe. I do not see this thing going up from here any significant amount. I think we have much lower to go. I would say its best case scenario is that it bounces off 22. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we have much further down to go there. I know you guys don't want to hear that, but what I do is tell you what I see in the charts, and so far everything has played out exactly as we had expected. So be careful out there. Be careful who you listen to. Be careful with all these crazy indicators that are just confusing as hell. The cleaner you keep your charts, the cleaner your trades will be. Thanks for watching. Smash the likes, leave your comments, and have a wonderful day. Don't forget to subscribe, share the video if you would, and tick your notification bells. A lot of people said they weren't getting notified of the videos, so make sure your notifications are on. I'm out, guys. Take it easy. Have an awesome